Well, hello again, friends. This is Jamar Doyle, President and CEO of CHHSM, the Council for Health and Human Service Ministries. And I am so excited to welcome you back to Ministry Moments with the President. Today, I am so glad to be joined by my colleague and friend, Michelle Just, who is the President and CEO of the Beatitudes Campus. Michelle, welcome to Ministry Moments.
Thanks for having me, Jamar. I have to say, it's just a pleasure to work with you all the time and with the full board. So thanks for starting.
Awesome. Well, and thank you for also reminding me to say that not only is Michelle an awesome CHHSM member and friend, but also is the president of CHHSM's board of directors. So this is a special treat, also because it's your 23rd anniversary with Beatitudes. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, today I am celebrating 23 years here. So it's been an amazing ride. I have not been sitting in the CEO chair the entire time. I've been blessed to serve in many roles here, and I have definitely found my calling. So
That is awesome. That's awesome. And that leads me actually to my first question. So hearing that you've been there for 23 years, what keeps you coming back? Like how did you fall into this role? What brought you to Beatitudes? And what would you like to just share about that journey?
sure. Well, I am one of those very odd people that knew from the time I was a child I wanted to work with older adults. I was the kid that always wanted to go and visit people in the nursing home, and it was just always something I felt my heart called to, was being around older adults because they have amazing stories. We get to live in a society that they have built, and so we need to pay them back out of respect. And so I always knew I was going to be doing something in this, and found my way into a retirement community and started here in marketing in 2000, and have held many roles in operations and marketing and fundraising. And in 2014, I was chosen by our board of directors to take the helm after my dear friend, colleague, and mentor, Peggy Mullen, decided to retire. So, yeah, been
Well, that
great.
is awesome to hear. And, I've had a chance to meet and work with Peggy since being here at CHHSM. And so it's so grateful to know that Beatitudes has had such strong leaders over the past years that both you and Peggy have been involved with the organization and have been leading the organization and really working to fulfill its mission. So maybe tell us a little bit about the mission of Beatitudes Campus and the difference that you're making there in the greater Phoenix area.
Okay. Well, first, let me talk a little bit about just what Beatitudes Campus is. So, we're more
Sure.
than just a nursing home. So, we are a life plan community. We serve around 650 seniors here within independent living. So, we've got rental units and entrance fees. We've got assisted living, memory care, and long term care. So, now let me tell you our mission statement. And then I want to talk a little bit about that because I think it says so much for who we are as an organization. So, Beatitudes Campus mission statement is inspiring purpose and vibrancy in life's journey. Live brightly, age boldly. Now, we came up with that about a year and a half ago. It was just time to kind of refresh our mission. And what you'll notice in there is we don't say residents. While the word age is in there, we don't really talk about residents because we wanted a mission statement that applied to all constituents, our workforce, our families that live and visit with their loved ones who live here. And our business partners, we want everyone to understand that aging as a process doesn't need to always be a decline. And I think that is what our team here does so well with our residents is when people move here, they're not giving up things, they're actually gaining um, new hobbies and they're learning new things. And it's really about age empowerment, not coming to a place to where you're going to sit and wither away. It really is about living fully throughout your entire life, even in those later years.
I love that. I hear you saying live boldly and to be empowered in terms of how you live, even if you're at a moment in which you're aging. And so maybe you could tell us about a time when you kind of, the organization was able to live into those values and has been able to really help your residents live boldly.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite stories, and this happened actually during the pandemic. We had a call from our local VA nursing home, and they said, we have someone here that we believe no longer needs to be here. It doesn't need to be in an institutional VA nursing home. We believe that he can live independently. And, any of us hear that and you go, oh, could someone make that move? Well, I'm happy to say that that gentleman moved in with us. It breaks my heart that he was in the VA nursing home for probably 3 or 4 years before someone noticed that he could actually live in a different environment. But they reached out to us. He moved in with us a week later. He continues to live in independent living. His entire floor of his apartment building wrap their arms around him, support him when he needs it. The staff here, because he was coming from the VA nursing home, didn't have a lot of his own belongings. The staff and residents here embraced him, brought him, decorated his apartment. He continues to be highly engaged across this campus now and is living in an environment where he can live fully. And it's just great to see. I always smile when I see him walking across our 30-acre campus. It's one of those times that I go, oh, we did the right thing. And that's a perfect example of that. And then one other story I would tell you, and I tell my board this and I tell families this too. My favorite complaint that I get, and none of us like complaints, but my favorite complaint is when I hear from a family member and they said, we can never find mom. She's too busy to go to dinner with us because she's too engaged in the community. And it's through those complaints that I know that our mission is living out exactly how we want. And I'll take those complaints all day long.
I will take those as someone whose mom is now aging in a community similar to Beatitudes, but here in Cleveland, would definitely take those complaints. And, because it just says that people are living vibrantly. And yes, you may no longer be in your home, but you're in a new community where you're welcomed and you're energized to continue to just live life. So I just think that's awesome. And because that mission is so near and dear to me because of where I'm, taking care of my mom and where she's at, I'm wondering what are some things that would be helpful to you and your organization in terms of moving forward and to be able to just make sure that your residents are able to live fully like that. Are there things you want people to know or that you want to share in terms of that?
Yeah. So instead of being more specific, I'm actually going to talk a little bit more broad.
Okay.
What I would want society to do, and everyone who's going to watch this mission moment, is to really pay attention to the ageism in society. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, we're seeing in our political environment right now. You can see it on any commercial that you watch. There's always this little tinge of ageism. And, as we were talking prior to hitting record, it's one of those isms that doesn't get a lot of attention. And if government funding was looking at things a little bit different and more balanced when it comes to our aging population, but even the advocacy that needs to happen around aging, it's important. And I would just ask anyone who's watching this, just pay attention to the potential of ageism and how it affects people who choose to live here and what people see. When we do our new employee orientation, I always ask the team, our new employees, then what did your family and friends say when you said you were coming to work at a retirement community? And it's fascinating to me the number of people who say, oh, I can't believe you're going to go work with someone or work in a place where people are going to die. And again, that's that ageism, because people don't see this kind of lifestyle, this kind of community living, as an empowering journey. And it can be a very purposeful journey. And unfortunately, society just doesn't see it like that.
That's so it's so true that in society we've missed sort of paying attention to, I think, ageism. And there's a lot of isms that we're working on in society, right? But
Absolutely.
we need to also make sure that we're paying attention to how our language and how the ways in which we even structure daily society is sometimes not conducive to those that are elders. I love that you highlighted that. And obviously from a Chisholm standpoint, it's so important because so many of our agencies are in a similar space of caring for, our elders and making sure that they're able to age in dignity and age in comfort. And I'm wondering too if maybe there's something you want to share about that, because one of the things that's always impressed me about Beatitudes in the time that I've been at Chisholm is how welcoming the environment is for anyone and everyone, to make sure that they're able to live in dignity, to age in dignity, no matter who they are, what their background is, religious, sexual orientation, gender, whatever, that they have a home at Beatitudes. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
I think so much of that, thank you for highlighting that. It is one of the things that I'm most proud of here. I think that just goes back to our affiliation with the UCC Church of Beatitudes Chisholm, that it's our responsibility to create an environment where all can belong, right? We are one of the few organizations in Phoenix who actually specifically reaches out to the LGBTQ community. That's another thing I'm very proud of. And it's just in our fabric of being a ministry of the UCC, and fighting for that social justice and making sure that when people step on this campus, that they are heard, they're seen, and they're welcomed with arms of love. And as long as we can all continue to say that, I think you can have many communities like this. So.
Yes. That is beautiful. That's so beautiful. And so, I just want to ask if there's anything else. I know our time is beginning to wind down, that you'd want to share, that you want people to know about Beatitudes, the work that you do, anything else to share before we close out.
I would just add that we were built in 1965. We've gone through a couple of redevelopments. We are gearing up for a capital campaign here in the next couple of years, and a future redevelopment. But while the buildings may change, the lifestyle, the warm community will always be here. And I just invite any of you, if you come to Phoenix, please look up Beatitudes Campus. I'd love to give you a tour of our 30 acres and have you meet some of our wonderful residents and staff.
That is awesome. And you heard it here, folks. There's an open invitation. So if you're in the Phoenix area, please look up the Beatitudes Campus. Or if you live in that area and are looking for an active, welcoming place to be, please reach out to the Beatitudes Campus. You heard it. Your grandma and grandpa will be so busy, or mom and dad will be so busy, you'll wonder what on earth is going on. We don't hear from you anymore, because they're living boldly. And that's what it's all about, making sure that, as we work as Chisholm to create a more caring, just, and compassionate world, we do that for everyone and for all, welcoming and inclusive, even in our communities that provide elder care. So, Michelle, thank you so much for this conversation today. I'm excited for you and your ministry and the ministry of Beatitudes, and I'm so appreciative to work with you on our board as well.
Thank you. Same to you, Jamar. And thanks for doing this. I think it's important that we highlight all the Chisholm members and the great work
Absolutely.
we're all doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is the very first interview, but it will not be the last. So every month, a new interview will drop, where we will have a conversation just like this with a leader at another Chisholm agency. So if you want to be part of those conversations, please reach out to Chisholm. And if you just want to make sure that you don't miss the next installment of Ministry Moments with the President, please make sure that you scan the QR code that's going to appear at the end of this video. Sign up for our Diacne newsletter, and you won't miss a moment. Michelle, thank you so much for your time today. This has been absolutely a joy. And to all of you, be blessed and know that you are loved by God. Thank you.